Hey, comic book friends, I'm Travis.
And I'm Ethan.
And this is...
Monster Comic Reviews.
Yeah, that's right. This is for the third week of February. We were almost caught up to where we're actually at. Anyway,
yeah.
So we're going to jump right into these reviews. First one that we're going to talk about is Batman #6.
Ooh, this comic was cool. I liked the way they played this comic out, and I didn't have to turn it this time. Yay! They kept the story going. It pretty much starts out with just Batman getting the crap beat out of him.
Oh yeah, he gets stabbed and just about finish him off.
Yeah.
And then there's the owl people.
That whole sequence is great. So because Bruce Wayne's completely crazy because he's been in the thing for days and days and days.
And they're probably poisoning him too.
Yeah.
The water he's drinking is wacky.
For days and days and days, and they're slowly taking pictures of him. Well, so as he's being delusional, they're deciding how are they going to kill him. So there's how they actually are. They're just a ton of people in the rafters with face masks, and then Batman.
What? Is it a ton of people? It's like a family almost. It's like grandma, mom and dad, and one little kid. Yeah.
Yeah. So they're up in the rafters, and Bruce sees them as these like owl creature.
Well, they're wearing masks. They're wearing masks, and of course that helps. Yeah. His hallucination. Yeah, they're definitely owl.
They're definitely like these owl-human hybrid things.
Yeah.
Well, so they decide that they're going to kill Bruce by just beating him to death, and they bash him through a wall. And Bruce decides that he's Batman, and he's not just going to lay down and die.
Yeah.
So the owl family actually comes down from the rafters to beat him up, and he decides that he's going to not let this happen. So he gets up and he starts beating everybody up, and the owl people are like, run!
Run! He's not dead, run!
Yeah. And so he starts to beat the Talon up, and he's telling the Talon that no matter what the people think of him, whatever, he's nothing. I mean, he beats people up like him every day. But the cool thing is that switching back between reality and Bruce's hallucination.
Right, make it look really cool.
So it's beat up Batman beating the crap out of Talon, and then it's like Bat Monster. It's like Man-Bat.
Fighting owl things.
And his cape slowly starts to turn into wings, and he gets like more broad-shouldered and lowered down. He gets big spiky teeth and starts to beat the crap out of Talon. I mean, the cover reflects, as an example, the cover kind of reflects Batman's craziness, if you can see that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It was pretty awesome. It was great. I like the story. It was an amazing arc. And it implies at the end that Batman is going to drown because, and it sounds like are they either just going to bury the final of the Talons, or are they going to raise all the other Talons up?
I think they're going to raise the other Talons. I mean, my assumption is they're going to raise a bunch of Talons because we know that there's an event coming up that's going to cross over almost all the Gotham books, and will have Talons of one sort or another in them. So that's what
leads to Gotham. Everything goes to Gotham.
Well, because Batman's the coolest title, and so if you're going to sell books, you tie it all back to the coolest thing, right?
Yeah.
That's how I see it. Right?
Even the comics that are in different continents go back to Gotham.
Yeah.
Oh well, that's okay. Gotham's cool.
Yeah. Anyway, this is a great book, well written. The imagery is great. As he is psychotic through the thing. I mean, obviously he's Batman. He's not going to drown under there. I'll be curious to see how he gets out of that as he busts himself loose. I also thought it was interesting as he's fighting Talon. He pretty much tells him he knows what's going on in a way. I know where this water comes from, so he knew if he busted a hole in the floor that it was going to lead him to the water to get out of the place.
Because he's Batman.
It's just after he got into the water, then he realized, oh crap, there's not an exit really, and that's what kind of left to him. But yeah, just such a great book. This is one of the books, in my opinion, hasn't missed a beat, even from the issue 1. As far as you were last week, you were talking about how the 52 kind of took a little bit to get their feet underneath them. Not this one. This one's just been rocking it all the way. Greg Capullo is going to be the artist. He's going to be at Emerald City Comic Con for us. That's coming up in just a couple of weeks. He just posted on Facebook today that he's got a limited 200 prints of the Scarecrow. So that might be the first place we line up for if we get in the front of the line.
That's where we walk, don't run to?
Yeah, that's where we'll walk, don't run to when the con opens up. Anyway, so that's going to be pretty cool. For me, I give this book a very solid 4 out of 5.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. 4 out of 5.
Yeah.
Without doubt. Next, we have Birds of Prey number 5.
And 6.
And 6.
Yeah, what happened was is for some reason when I get my comics shipped to me, and I get my comics shipped to me every 2 weeks, somehow number 5 got missed. It ended up being in the next shipment, so we get a double dose of the Birds of Prey. So I'm really enjoying the heck out of this book. I really like Birds of Prey. I like this new chemistry with the new people that are in it. You know, I'll continue to say I don't care whether we have Batgirl or not. I don't think she's a needed addition. She doesn't take away from it, but I love the personalities in this. I love the fact that they're all kind of working together, but they don't. But they don't all 100% get along. I mean, you know, they're all supposedly terrorists in some sense or another. Ivy's obviously an eco-terrorist and holds that title more. Supposedly. Apparently. Right, and supposedly Canary's wanted for murder or something like that too. And Katana's just crazy because she talks to her dead husband who's supposedly the sword.
It was cool though. This issue we got to see a lot more. We got to see a lot more character
from all of them.
From everybody.
Yeah.
We got to learn a little bit of backstory about some of the people, and it was nice to see that Katana wasn't just the crazy person that.
Oh, maybe she isn't. She just guesses really good.
I know, but she wasn't. It's. When she was sparring with Black Canary, it felt like she was an actual person. Right,
that she's not just a... You're right. That's a very good...
She's not just a psychopath that's like, hi, husband, and then she's just there to kill people.
Right, that's a very good point. You're right. That really opens her up to being more of a character than what we had seen up until this point. You're very, very right. And that is true. It makes it really interesting. The only part about these 2 books that bothered me was I felt like the setup with... Starling, where she's on the bridge getting shot at, and then she's diving into the water saying, I can't believe you guys did this to me. And then suddenly, like, it felt like in the next issue, it had all been resolved. They'd figured it out, but we didn't get to see them figure it out. I mean, granted, it might have made the books longer and whatnot, but that just seemed weird. That, to me, that was the one thing about these two books together that felt jarring to me. It was like, okay, we end on this kind of cliffhanger with number 5. You know, she was set up, but she wasn't set up by her friend. She was set up oh heck, what's the bad guy's name?
They're the cleaners. The cleaners.
Yeah.
But I can't remember what the
Clutch.
Clutch. I think so. Yeah.
Whatever his name is, I'm drawing a blank on what it is right now. Probably because we haven't actually seen him yet for me to stick in my head who he is. It messed with them, and then the next issue, it's like all of a sudden they kind of figured out that they all got played, but we didn't get to see that resolution.
It felt very. You guys betrayed me, and then maybe they just went, "Oh, we didn't betray you." Oh, okay. That's the feeling I got by not showing us.
Right, but it was like, okay, how do they resolve that kind of a thing? But still, I'm liking the story. I'm interested in the story. I'm interested in this. All these people who are mind controlled. Basically, they use Facebook to send them the messages.
Yeah.
I mean, the equivalent. I mean, that's kind of what it is. Kind of a thing and whatnot. These characters all excite me anyway. I like these group of ladies. I think they're cool and interesting characters. These newer versions of them, I like all of them. You know, I wondered about Katana because she was relatively one-dimensional. I like the way she looks, but she was relatively one-dimensional. And you're right, they did add more to her in that. I think there's going to be more and more of that going forward. So I'm really stoked about this book. You're hearing a couple issues. Travel Foreman. Mm-hmm. Who is currently doing Animal Man. He'll be the artist on that. That'll be pretty interesting to see exactly how he interprets all these.
I like the fact that they have Poison Ivy on the team.
Yeah.
And I like her personality. I love the fact that she's annoyed about getting blown up on, and how she's promising to what's-his-face that if he blows up all over her, she's going to kill all of his relatives.
Yeah. I'm going to hunt all of your family down if you blow up on me, because of those mental bombs and whatnot. So that was pretty, yeah.
I'm glad that she's still a fairly effective member on the team. Yeah. I'm glad that they still have somewhat distrust of her, which makes sense.
Oh, sure.
Because it'd be weird if they're just like, oh, Poison Ivy, that's cool because she's an eco-terrorist. But I'm glad it's not just them constantly going, ugh.
They're not trying to fight her all the time. Yeah.
They're not trying to pick fights with her.
Yeah.
Much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Besides the whole stunning thing, the only problem I have with these comics is the covers. The cover for number 6 is okay, but the cover for number 5 just sucks.
Hey, you know who did number 5? Take a wild guess who did number 5. It's colored by somebody different, I think, than what normally has it done, but who other covers have done covers that we've talked about and you don't like? Do you remember?
David Finch.
Yes!
Yeah, okay.
Yep. I'm almost positive that we're going to look here to make sure, as I just talked myself.
Cover, David Finch.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, the wasp waist, pinched nose. This one doesn't look quite as bad as a lot of them do because the coloring's different on it, I think. I don't know how it got colored, but so it took some of the sharpness out of it. But yes, you're right.
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm not a David Finch fan, and I'm not a big fan of that. So yeah. So what are we giving those?
I give them a 4 out of 5.
Yeah. Yeah. For me, it's 3.5, 4, somewhere in there. Just because that one hiccup still to me was like, what?
It's like a medium weak 4 for me. It's not a weak 4 because, I mean, it just wasn't quite there. Yeah. It was a weak 4 because of that little interlude there.
Yep. But still
really
high on my list of things to read. I'm always excited to read it.
Yeah, definitely. So I'm going to pick up and go, oh yeah, I'm going to read this. Definitely.
Yep. Okay, next we're going to talk about Blue Beetle number 6.
Not one of those comics that I pick up and go, oh, hey, I'm going to read this.
Yeah, why is that?
Because they're repeating this story, and I don't think it's written that well.
Right. We collected the first Jamie Raya's Blue Beetle
we got them all in trades.
Every
single issue.
Didn't get them in singles. We got them in trades, and a lot of this has just been repeating itself. This one wasn't, though. Well, kind of. Kind of towards the end it was.
Kind of like the Black Beetle thing, but not.
Yeah, but this one was different.
Yep, definitely.
I like the art. I like Igara's art in it. Here's my thing about this book, and I don't think this is necessarily a bad book, other than like those of us who've read it.
I'm enjoying this.
We used to feel like we're reading it again. It's missing the fun.
Yeah.
It's missing the fun part of it. We all recognize him as being fun. If you watch the Brave and the Bold cartoons that just canceled, in that he was definitely fun, goofy, because I mean that's kind of a goofy cartoon anyway.
Yeah.
But he was fun. He was fun in his book. There was always some fun about it, and this has just been painful.
Yeah, this has just been
not painful
bad
for me it's not bad painful, but it's been painful because I mean it's just so far it's just been his life's been a train wreck. This it almost turns out okay, and the fact he talks his friend who ends up becoming Black Beetle talks him down, but of course he's still got this alien hardware in him now too, so that's a potential threat for the whole time. I don't know how they're going to deal with the fact is he'll found me. Kind of surprised. I thought that Tony Bedard, who I like as a writer, he wrote Rebels and stuff like that. So it's not like we aren't familiar with him. He finished out the first volume of Birds of Prey. We liked him in that too. And when this book was first being talked about, it seemed like he got it that was part of what needed to be in there was that fun, and it's not there. And the other thing where we're both can agree we're disappointed on the fact is they've just basically really retold the history, and the history isn't that old. It's pretty fresh for a lot of us. So
yeah, I give this a 2 out of 5. It just wasn't that good for me.
Yeah, I give it a weak 3. Like I said, I like the art. I think this could be a good book. They just need to hurry up and get past this initial crap and move on to other things. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Next we have Catwoman number 6. I like this comic. What do you think?
I enjoy this comic. I thought this issue was fun too. She's of course stuck in with the dirty cops have her. The good cop who really wants to arrest her ends up saving her at the end of the thing because, well, he's a good guy. He's a good guy. She should be arrested for being a burglar or whatnot, but she shouldn't have her brains bashed in, and because she took some money that some bad cops took and whatnot. So that's pretty great. It's a brutal fight in here.
This issue is pretty, it was a pretty brutal issue.
Well, but a lot of these issues have been.
I know.
These people just kick the living stuffings out of each other.
Like for instance when Catwoman beats the crap out of what's his face in
Bone.
the bathrooms. Yeah.
Oh, in the bathroom, the Russian guy,
Uh-huh.
yeah. And then Bone, where he baseball bats Bone.
Yeah.
And she baseball bats Bone
And
for
then
killing.
in this, Reach shows up again because Reach is working with the dirty
Right.
cops. So then Catwoman, even though she's
Bites
handcuffed
her
on the
off.
boys, bites her ear off.
That was
I was just
awesome.
like, ew. That was just, ew.
And once again, I have no taste. I like the art. I like Gilliam March. I like the way this I think is colored. I don't mind his kind of weird faces that she has and whatnot. They're kind of weird
I
faces,
like the weird faces.
but they convey everything. It has an almost, that part of it has an almost anime aspect to it, doesn't
yeah, a
it, to
little
some
bit. She
degree?
spends a lot of time going,
The big eye, when she's shocked, it's that big eye kind of thing, which is kind of anime-esque. I mean, heck, all she needs is weird little symbols around her head and
Yeah.
whatnot, which normally would annoy me because that's one of the things I don't like about anime. I like it here. And under all the potential titillating of the fact that, Catwoman's a babe and they definitely draw her, sexy and sexed up and whatnot. There's a pretty serious plot line going here and whatnot. It's a pretty serious story. Her relationship with Batman, I think, is really interesting. She continues to push that envelope. He has basically erased everything about her in all the government files and whatnot. She kind of figures it must be him that does that. He keeps pressing her. When are you going to stop doing this stuff? The two of them get pretty heavy-handed with each other, and not in a I want to kiss you way, but more not, I can slap you around right now kind of a way. And, they're kind of left with that kind of a, that tension that's there is, ooh, boy, their relationship maybe, maybe it's done.
Yeah.
Maybe even the, find each other when they're lonely and have sex, maybe that part's even done there by the end of it. I mean, he lets her go.
Mm-hmm.
He lets her go, but yeah. And it looks like maybe she's got herself a new fence, so that could be interesting too.
Are you talking about them drawing her as a babe? Well, mostly when she's on the job in a lot of this. I mean, even when she's hanging out with Batman and talking to him.
She's all zipped
it's
up.
not. Yeah. She has it zipped up to her neck. It's not like she's way down here or anything.
Yeah, you're right. We're looking at the book here in case you're wondering what's going on. You see, he's eyeing with the fact that she's got an ear.
She's got an ear in her mouth. Ew.
And I guess she's not too. Yeah, I guess you're right. She's not too unzipped on this, but most people would consider, Reach how hippie she is and whatnot to be a little over the top. I don't know. I don't think it is. Like I said, I like the style and whatnot. And yeah, I guess unless you're into girls being tied up in leather and beat up, I guess maybe she's not so much hotty-totty in this one.
Yeah, there's the issue where on the cover it's her with the bloody bat with all the nails driven through that.
Yeah.
I don't see how you
Really?
see that as sexy.
That doesn't make you all...
No.
No?
No.
Oh, okay.
I don't
Doesn't
get all
me either.
skittish.
Doesn't me either. I really like this book. It's one of those books I was surprised by. I picked it up, and originally I wasn't going to pick it up because the first cover irritated me with her pouring the diamonds all over her chest. And of course, some of the interviews that were going on, Judd Wittick, the writer, was getting tired of people asking him about it. And so he was, I think, just being kind of a smart aleck and saying, oh yeah, this book's just going to be sexy, 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 addicted to Batman, sexy, sexy, sexy. And so I'm like going, I'm not going to get this. Well, I decided I'd go pick up the first issue, which of course had, the thing at the end of it, which freaked everybody out. But I also thought, there's maybe some real story here too.
I'm just glad that you decided to let me read it.
Yeah, well, it hasn't been, that first issue has been uncomfortable.
Yeah, that first issue was awkward.
Yeah, but since then it hasn't been. I mean, it's actually been, I'd be more inclined to not let you read it because how brutal it's been, quite honestly. I mean, physically brutal. But yeah, I like this comic. For me, this is one of those comics that straddles between a 3 and a 4.
Yeah, I give it like a 3.5.
Yeah. Anyway, that's it for the first half of this week, and hopefully very quickly we'll be back with the second half of week 3 of February.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye.